says we're online on Periscope, but I don't see it on the account.
I see it live. I see it live on here.
It shows you it?
Yep. It's the Gamble on Ginter podcast. How we doing?
Fantastic. We got Hoodie Trill with us.
We got Willie.
Just happy to
Willie
be
Trill
here.
from the Nothing But Facts podcast.
Yeah.
Just 1/3 of it, Just happy to be here.
Nice to see. Daniel Amano, as always. Question was posed to you. It always is. How are you doing?
I'm good because the reason we have a new guest is because I'm a winner.
So he wants to get into it. So Willie is going to take on Daniels today. He's going to face off against Nostra Daniel, our defending champion. 3-2 last week. Chloe went 2-3. So the way that it works is, if you lose, you're out. So Willie, if you come back next week, we'll get into that. We'll talk NBA playoffs. We have fantasy questions that we're going to be able to ask today. So definitely check that out. And I'll probably end the show on a really somber note, talking about the Marlins. So, I'll save that for the end of the show. We're going to do all the fun
And they
at the
get a
beginning.
pick.
Okay, yeah, you guys are going to get a pick today.
All right, they're getting a pick.
We got a pick. We got a pick for you guys. So, Nostra Daniel, how are you feeling after a big victory?
Feeling great.
Describe your emotions after completely obliterating Chloe, which came down to the last game. He went 3-2 last week.
See, the thing is, it's like when I defeat
Profitable.
my enemy, right? I inherit something of them. So I defeated Chloe, and I feel like I have no soul now.
Okay.
When I defeat Willie, I'm gonna feel very. I don't know. It hasn't come to me yet until I defeat him, but
It never will. That's why.
Okay,
So
so
his ass.
I really want to see this play out right now. So, Willie, first of all, give off anything you want to say. Thank you for coming on. You are the guest, so he's gonna pick first. I'm telling you, he's gonna have the first game, and he's gonna be able to pick it. So
I don't care.
I
First,
guess
last, second, it don't matter. He's gonna lose.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
all right.
Sound pretty confident.
It actually, honestly, it is whatever Nostra Daniel says. He is the defending champion,
I
and
can talk my
even-
shit.
even if he
Okay.
doesn't win,
You're a
well-
rookie out here.
Oh no.
Wow.
You may sit in
Oh,
that
no.
seat another day, but on this day you shall be defeated.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
as always, if you don't know how this game works, I've given 5 games to each of them. We're going to have them pick 5 games, and then we're going to see how they do throughout the week. Willie comes back on, or he can at least just submit his picks and send a letter, and I'll just talk shit for you. if you win.
Exactly. If necessary, of course.
If you lose, though, we move on to the next one. So hopefully you can come back next week or, send in some kind of message with us next week. But it's good to have you on right now. So let's get straight into these picks. So I gave them each 5 picks, as was stated. And I gave Trill the first game, which we kind of talked about before we came on. The Bengals and the Eagles at 1 o'clock. At -4 for the Eagles, Willie, who you got?
Yeah, I got Joe B. It's real simple. Joe
I'm
Exotic.
gonna go with Cincinnati. I like it. I like that pick. 'Cause
In Philadelphia. Mm-hmm.
well, Joe is looking nice in his last game, and he's on a decent amount of rest now.
Decent amount of rest. 61 attempts in a primetime game. No interceptions against the NFL.
Exactly what you want out of the overall #1 pick if they're your QB, to come right out the gate in game 2, throw 60 passes and fucking kill it.
It's very clear he's a top 5 player on that team, if not top 1.
Exactly. He's the most important
because
person.
that offensive line needs work, and that's where it's going to be a little bit troublesome against the Philadelphia Eagles, because they can get there. They'll be able to get to the quarterback. Now, Burrow could have a huge game. So if you have Burrow in fantasy, you probably got some interesting matchups, which we'll get into a little bit later. Amano, I sent you games, right?
Yes, the first game you gave me was
Good. Texans, Steelers -4. I'm giving them more time now, and hey, 3-2, 500, folks.
So I gotta say I probably gotta go with the Texans on this one. I really do like the Texans. I like Deshaun Watson. I feel like a lot of people underestimate them, and I think a perfect team for them to take out would be the Steelers. Although I feel like the Steelers have been heavily underrated this season so far. I think, they could have been a little better, but I think they're coming back from where they once were at a point. but I got to go with the Texans.
You could make the argument that the Steelers are maybe the worst team that the Texans have seen so far.
Well,
Their first games have been against the Ravens and the Chiefs. So you've seen what they do against top competition. Obviously, it's tough to compete with the Ravens and the Chiefs right now.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to do that. So, I mean, it can go either way. I really like the Steelers' defense, especially that you're going to Pittsburgh in this game. I do give the advantage to Pittsburgh, but that's why I'm not.
Texans.
That's why I'm not Nostradamus. Remember, we've had it change pick on this show. He's changed his mind.
I'm not changing my mind on
He's
that
not doing this. He's done the research, folks. Raiders Pats, I think, is one of the more intriguing games of the weekend because we're back to the same question: are the Raiders for real?
I think this is a game that'll prove it.
I honestly think out of all the games this week, this might be the safest pick. I got the Pats -6 easily.
At home with Cam Newton controlling that. Now, it can't be disregarded how well the Raiders did against a pretty good Saints defense. Like not an awful Saints defense by any means. May finish in
this
the
has
top
been
10,
one of their
top
best
15.
defenses in quite a few years.
Granted,
Even with people missing.
Yeah.
Even with people missing, but I think the offense just looks more crisp. Cam Newton's got the ability where he can completely control the clock. You know Belichick's going to try and take away Waller. Like, that's the one guy you can't let get off on that team. No Henry Ruggs. You got no Big Shot. I mean, that's a pretty good bet right there. If you got -6, historically, the Pats do very well in this game. So, Amano, you have pick number 2. You're locked in, so you can just announce them.
Titans, Vikings, +3. I'm going with the Titans on this one. Really like what I see with the Titans this year.
So just for clarifications, the Vikings are +3. I give him all the home lines, whatever the home line is. So just for verification, the Vikings are +3. So he's taking the Titans -3 in this game.
I am taking the Titans in this game.
Are the Titans for real?
Ryan Tannehill is, at least. The stats don't lie.
Yeah, and they got that new tight end now this year that's emerging. He's balling out too. He has 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
He's an FIU product.
The other question.
Shout out South Florida.
Exactly.
Shout out South Florida. If there's one thing Willie knows, right, it's young talent.
That's for sure. So the Vikings may be the worst team in football as well, and they're playing
surprisingly.
At home. Now they scored some points against Green Bay, but they were awful against the Indianapolis Colts the week before. Kirk Cousins, 7 interceptions in his last 6 games back to 2019. That includes a playoff win. So I don't know what to make of this. They are one of the few home dogs this week. I think you guys got a lot of home favorites. This is one of the few games where you have a home dog.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But again, the Titans have been really good this season. Derrick Henry can control the ball game, and he
hasn't even had
one
of his games
yet.
yet.
He hasn't even had a big game, but he does take a little bit to take off.
Yeah, he takes a little bit.
He needs at least like 4 games to start, picking up traction.
Like you can kind of
convince dude.
You can kind of convince yourself in October, like you want to tackle this dude, but in December when it's 30 degrees outside, does anyone want to be tackling Derrick Henry?
I'll just shoot him.
That's the best way. Like
it's
honestly,
the only way.
It's the most effective way to stop him. He is. I mean, when he's going right, he's the top 3 running back in football, right?
Yeah.
Especially now with these guys hurt. I mean, obviously that's a big deal.
When he gets rolling, I don't think anyone can run the ball like him. Maybe besides Zeke, to be quite honest.
Yeah. He's a true powerhouse. The next biggest powerhouse after him is probably Zeke.
Because you can't just turn around and say, "Hey, halfback dive, 3 straight plays." You know it's coming. They know it's coming.
Yeah.
We just gonna get it.
Yeah, 10 yards real quick, just like that.
Have you looked Derrick Henry in the eyes? Intimidating.
I have not, because he's 6'4".
Like look at a photo of him. Like look him in the eyes. If you were under a helmet, yeah, that's a demon.
He's a
that
demon,
boy gonna
bro.
come right at you.
Could you imagine?
Just move out the way. I'm gonna just go.
Imagine when he was in high school or he was in college.
Yeah. Looking like a linebacker at running back.
There's some of those videos with the oversized kids that they have on the internet where they're just running over kids. There's that one where there's this kid who's like 6 foot, pure muscle, is playing in like a 9U game.
I don't know where that video came from, but I know exactly what he's talking about. And he just ran down the sideline. I was like, that's assault. That's child
that's not
assault
legal,
right
yeah.
there. Like, I want to see a birth certificate.
I'm removing my
it's
son
like in
from
the
this
bench
game.
warmers. You seen bench warmers, right? Where the kid's like, I am 12.
Exactly. That's exactly what he did.
I am 12.
There's a really good late slate of games. Like, not usual you'd have 4 or 5 late night games, like in 4 p.m. games. Usually you get 2 or 3, but you get a really good one in the Cowboys Seahawks. At Seattle, no roaring fans. The Dallas Cowboys are 0-2 against the spread. Missed both times by Mr.
What's the spread again?
It's -3, -5 for the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Russ this year.
Definitely hard, but at the same time, I really do have a lot of faith in that offense in Dallas. They've putting up, I think, 30 points in back-to-back
but you got to
weeks.
consider the spread now.
Oh,
The
that
5-point spread.
that's great.
So you're saying they could put up? I mean, they could clearly put up 30, but Russell Wilson right now could possibly put up 40.
Exactly.
He's in another play. He's playing on another
Mm.
level right now, and I feel like we get into this point where we're talking week 4, week 5. Russell Wilson is the MVP of the league.
He's already.
And then he starts playing a little bit more game control, which is fine because they're still winning. But he loses out on the MVP. Like, that dude deserves his due. Like, if he never wins an MVP, it would be a shame because it doesn't describe Russell Wilson as a player. Because he's a top 2, top 3 player in this league. There's no.
But I mean, he is only 3 games in right now, so we can't just hand him the MVP yet. He's got to still, do this for another 13 games after this.
100%. And I'm just saying, for his legacy and his career and what he's done, he deserves an MVP award.
I'll tell you one thing. He got the MVP award for stepfather of the century, pretty much. That boy stepped on in and basically force adopted Future's child.
Force. Oh my goodness. Future would not like you saying that, sir.
Look, I
I'll
respect
hit him up.
Future, but whatever.
I'll hit him up after this.
He ain't father of the
That's
year either.
disrespectful.
The more I think
Poor
about
Future.
it, I don't want to go with the Seahawks and everything you guys are saying. This has got to be the one where I go out on a limb, and yeah, I got the Cowboys.
He's got the Cowboys +5. Again,
Remember,
you
they
get
gotta
5
cover that
points.
spread.
You get that 5 points, and I think, hey, the Cowboys are 0-2 against the spread for the season, but they seem to really come on strong in that last quarter against the Falcons, who, yeah, their defense is really, really bad, but they were turning the ball over in the first half.
Exactly.
Like, they cut down on the turnovers. The Cowboys are a really, really good team, and they still got Alden Smith rushing the passer. They still got some players.
DeMarcus Lawrence, hella people on
You
that
lose
defense.
Van Der Esch, and I mean, he hasn't been reliable his entire career. Great
Quietly,
player.
Trayvon Diggs has been a great rookie corner.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
and I'm gonna mention the young corner I really like in his next game, but I want to get into Daniel's third game. So
That's because it's your team, the Washington football team, versus the Browns. And this is one of those home dog games.
no, it's not.
Oh, no, it's not. I'm tripping. I forgot. It's reversed.
Yeah,
it's reversed.
Yeah, it's reversed.
Yeah, so in this game, right, it's a 7-point spread.
7-point spread. I believe it was the high. No. That Jet spread it's much higher, but it's one of the higher spreads that we have this week.
Jesus Christ.
I will also be going out on a limb. The Washington football team will absolutely win this game.
I think I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. That pass rush
I think
is
that's
filthy.
Exactly. Their
I think that's
defense is
honestly-
hella underrated.
Shout out Fabian Moreau, Western High School.
Oh.
Shout out.
South Florida
Shout out.
products.
Shout out.
Look, I'll say this, right? I think this is one of those games that if you got a couple extra bucks to spare, I would absolutely add this onto a little quick pick. Maybe even include it in a parlay to kind of up your chances at making a little more money.
I mean, it's definitely one of the games I'm looking at this week, and I've seen the football teams. It's still funny to say my dad's a diehard football team fan.
I think we all have a little football team fan.
Their offense isn't going to be able to really move the ball consistently. They'll have those 13, 14 play drives like everyone kind of has. And the Browns they look good last week, I think. I thought their defense would be a little bit better.
Exactly.
But I think the difference is, can you trust Baker Mayfield to not turn the ball over a second straight game?
Look, I'll say this,
To
right?
a team only won one game last year. Like, let's not act like the Bengals defense was something fierce that he tore up. That dude, as a number 1 pick, he's got to show more. There's no
For sure.
I think that game showed more of Joe Burrow than it did of the Browns. I don't even think anybody cared that the Browns won.
I think if you asked about 99% of people after that game, who would you take, Baker Mayfield or
Joe
Joe Burrow? They
No
would all
doubt.
say Joe Burrow, except for that one Cleveland fan.
Except for
from
Baker
Oklahoma.
Mayfield. Look, I'll say this. Washington football team plus 260 on the money line.
Not a terrible team.
Not a
I don't
terrible
Not
disagree.
only that, and they're tied for first
Plus
place in the
260
NFC.
on the money line. So that means you bet $100, you get 260 out of it.
Nice. Washington has allowed 30 points in the last 4 of their 5 regular season games. Their defense is much better this year, so
Yep.
there's not a lot that goes into that. Yeah, I like your pick there. So I believe this is the other road doggy. Is the Denver road doggy. Now this is always a tricky game when you're going to Denver, but it's Tom Brady going into Denver, and you'd think, oh, he's fantastic there. He's got to be. He's not so much. Tough place. 4-7 career in Denver. Tom Brady is. So, with that in mind, who you got, Will?
I've got the Bucks just because Leonard Fournette went there
I like that
last
pick.
year and had
Yeah,
200 plus yards.
Don't fall for any of that stuff. One, that new kid that they have the corner for the Bucks. I forget his name. But their number 1 corner. I watched him on Michael Thomas week 1, and I'm like, this dude is serious.
Bucks number 1 corner.
The Bucks number 1 corner. I had his name after week 1, and then I saw the numbers he was putting up. I believe he was playing DJ Moore. Like, DJ Moore got a lot of stuff in garbage time late.
For sure.
But like to have that first game against Michael Thomas, I gotta tell you, watch out for that cornerback, whatever his name is.
Oh, I'm doing the research right now, sir. We got to get this right.
But dude,
I see they have
Carlton Davis.
Carlton Davis.
yeah,
Oh,
Jamel Dean.
you know where he's from? Another South Florida product.
South Florida. Shout
Oh.
out South Florida.
Exactly.
How about that? Jerry Jeudy and the Broncos. Oh,
Is he
what?
healthy?
I hope he's healthy.
I'm like, did he clear
Well, he's
concussion
the- well,
protocol?
he's the number
think
1.
he is.
There's no one taking away his
Well, yeah,
routes.
Sutton's.
It's just he's got Jeff
It's
Driscoll
him and
throwing him
Fant
the
now.
ball.
Hey. To be quite honest, I just don't think the Broncos can get it done. And, yeah, Tom, he's going to look for Gronk this week. They already talked about it in the media and everything, so I expect him. You should start Gronk this week. Gronk is going to have a few plays.
No, I dropped Gronk. I got the Tennessee tight end. That boy got
Okay,
3
you
touchdowns
okay,
in 2
okay.
games.
Janu
I'm not mad
from
with that.
FIU. I
Look,
believe he
after
counts.
2 games, I can't
South
chance that with
Florida
Gronk right
It's-
now.
I'm not
It was
mad
a
with
good.
that.
Thank you, man.
Johnny Smith at FIU.
So Judy's actually battling a rib injury, and he's a game time
What
decision
the
for
fuck?
Sunday.
That's how he got hurt last week.
Yeah, but
on a
he- but
helmet
he-
to helmet hit.
I don't know. It
I'm
says
just like-
it says ribs. I'm looking at my fantasy team because I knew I could check there real quick, but it says
That's concerning.
ribs will be a game time decision for Sunday's matchup. That's literally what it says, and that he was upgraded to a full practice participation on Friday.
I mean, to be quite honest, if he doesn't play their number 1 receiver, I think then becomes another rookie in KJ Hamler from Penn State. So
I seen him throw off Joe Hayden the other day. They,
He's
they showed
shifty.
like some NFL films of him, and he threw him off. And he's a small looking guy. This
oh yeah,
dude
he's only
Hamler.
like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, I just think Bucks are just
Yeah,
way more
I was gonna
talented.
say Bucks are.
By the way,
definitely
keep your
safe
eye
pick.
on probably my favorite defensive player, Devin White, their middle linebacker. He is becoming
He's very
he is
underrated.
becoming now a top tier middle linebacker in the league. You need that guy. 2nd year in the league, already a captain on the team.
I
what does
didn't
that tell
know
you?
if his size would translate because he was still kind of like of the bigger mold
He's
of
so
linebacker.
fast. You have that
Exactly.
linebacker. Speed is everything at the linebacker position, and he is. You got to look at the body and say, yeah, he's gonna build into that because he ain't small.
At all.
He ain't small, and he was tackling dudes at LSU.
I'm like, you came from
playing dudes
LSU.
against Florida, Georgia. You've seen the big boys that come out of Georgia, man. Chubb, Gurley, those dudes are tough to tackle. And then you go to Alabama. Kamara's your 4th string.
A lot of people forget that Alvin
Kamara's your 4th
Kamara
string.
was the 4th string back at Alabama.
Yeah, Trent Richardson was the number 1.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so my next game is the Detroit Lions versus the Cardinals.
Ooh, I'd
6
like to hear
point
this.
spread.
So This last game, actually, fun fact, it ended in a tie last year. Lions-Cardinals last year ended in a tie after a
Wasn't that like Kyler Murray's first career game or something like
correct?
that?
Yeah.
But you
Wow.
also have to remember DeAndre Hopkins was also not on the Cardinals at the time.
By the way,
Granted.
let's show love for Kyler Murray, man. Like he's
Balling.
He's been balling.
I see a lot of people are putting him in their MVP list, but they're putting him like a 5 or 6. I would say he's like a top 3 candidate at this point. Remember, MVP means you are the most valuable player to your team, that you're bringing your team a lot of success. I think he could be up there.
He's made DeAndre Hopkins even better.
Yes, I think they kind of, it's one of those things. It's a mutual beneficial like
I'm like,
situation.
DeAndre Hopkins has helped him out in a lot of
but
ways
we also
as well.
know a wide receiver is not about to go off and win the MVP.
Murray's averaging 79 rushing yards per game. So the dual threat of having DeAndre Hopkins and then
A quarterback
let's say
who can
you
that.
you have perfect coverage, he could be 20 yards into your defense.
He's just gonna throw it.
Yeah.
And he can toss it. He's got the arm for that. I can't believe people
He's
thought
got
he
a
was going to play
baseball
baseball.
cannon.
But that is why I'm
I
absolutely
can't believe people thought he was going to play
positively,
baseball.
without a doubt, going with the Cardinals.
You know, if he played baseball, he would be in.
He would be in the
He'd
minors
be in the
somewhere.
Florida State. League.
wasn't he like a
He'd be
first round
playing
pick
in
in
Clearwater.
both sports?
Mm-hmm.
Was he the overall number 1 pick in both MLB and NFL?
No, he was
No,
the
he-
ninth. I believe he was
exactly.
the
But he-
ninth
he
or
went-
11th. He went first round.
Yeah, which
No, no,
is
no.
the first person to ever do
Which
that.
is he wasn't very signable. Like you kind of knew what he was as a quarterback, so you're
Yeah.
like, no. But
he got
was a
drafted, I think, to the
great
A's,
second
right?
baseman. Yeah.
Exactly,
He was a
to the
fantastic
A's.
second baseman. Great speed.
I could see him maybe after a few years thinking about going back. It would be smart, honestly. I even said it about Jameis. I always said Jameis should have just gone to the
I'm gonna tell you
MLB.
right now, that man owes everything to football.
He's that much.
At this point, the amount of money he's about to get, if they can just
Football.
get to the playoffs this year,
yeah.
forget a Super Bowl. If he can
He's
get
gonna
Arizona
he's gonna be
to
like
the
the new Michael
playoffs,
Vick in that way.
they will be willing to pay him quicker than they would Dak right now.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I
and
think
Arizona-
And this is
A
year
lot of people
2.
don't realize Arizona's a big market. They're a big market. They really do make a lot of money out in Arizona. Remember, I mean, like they have top franchises like at some
their
points.
their GM is highly regarded as one of the best GMs
Yeah.
in football. It's just again, it's a tough place to make a winning football team, whether it be coaching. I don't know what it's been, but it's a good look for Cliff Kingsbury, that's for sure. Making that number 1 pick, making that guy your guy, and then having the balls to make that trade for DeAndre Hopkins. Like, it seems like an easy trade, but how many people were actually going up and being like, "Hey, can I get a Hopkins?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, for sure."
It was the fact that he also had to give up his franchise running back. Granted, David Johnson hasn't been healthy, I think, in the past 2 years since 2016,
Yeah.
but he's still a 1,000-yard back when he is healthy.
These are one of the teams that are not investing in the running back. Like, they're going
At
for
all.
the cheap. They're going for the cheap. Kenyon Drake, we'll see if he gets paid, but like,
They're going to find another
Yeah. I
one.
you
was
can
gonna say
see what the
Kenyon Drake
difference
is
is. It's not
expendable.
much. The difference between David Johnson and Kenyon Drake is not much, and that's the problem at the running back position.
Well, who's
You get that kid James Robinson that we were
Exactly.
like in that Thursday night game. He looked amazing, and he was undrafted. So
That's what I was about to say. Who's
And
to
he
say
looks-
they don't draft somebody?
they want to stay cheap at that position, and to get a guy like Hopkins for Kyler Murray during the cheap
That's
years.
huge.
The cheap years for Kyler Murray, because he's going to take up all. It's the Chiefs are going to run into this now. They're going to have to pay so much to Mahomes just to keep Mahomes. They have to draft that well every single year, because DeMarcus Robinson's going to be on another team. They're not going to pay guys like that.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy Watkins is out. They're going to replace these guys with new guys who are just as fast. Mecole Hardman,
Exactly.
faster. Ugh. Speaking of which,
What's his final game?
Oh, man.
Monday night, guys, this is game of the week. It's not even like we
Exactly.
can't wait for this game. Raven fan, Willie Trill.
Raven fanatic, Raven diehard. I bleed
think
purple and black.
I think
So
I know who
Ravens
you're
are-
going with here.
The Ravens are home against the Chiefs. Let me say a couple of stats real quick. all
Okay.
right? It's a 3.5 point spread.
Mm-hmm.
So 3.5 point spread. The Chiefs are the underdogs here at plus 160
At Baltimore.
in
that's
Baltimore. Granted,
At Baltimore. It's
but
a
the
big
Chiefs,
deal.
the Chiefs are the underdogs here.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go say the obvious. We already know who you're gonna choose.
It's for a lot of different reasons, though. I mean, like I stated before earlier off the air, Lamar Jackson has 5 career losses. 2 in the playoffs, we know about that. Lost to Phillip Rivers, lost to Ryan Tannehill. His other 3 in the regular season, 2 to Patrick Mahomes, 1 to Baker Mayfield. He's going to get the job done this week. Just that simple. He's not going to take another L. And guess what? If he does, then I know we're going to win it in the playoffs. So I'm less concerned. This is my stress-free pick.
The Ravens were built to confront what the Chiefs do well. With the amount of corners that they can put on those receivers, it definitely helps. I really like their rookie, Patrick Queen.
We lost one of our best corners, actually, this past week, Tavon Young. He tore his ACL, so...
And you still got 3 more.
Oh, of course. We keep rolling them out.
You still got 3 more.
Still,
I will say the Ravens do have quite a stacked defense. But
that's where the difference could come in this game. And then it's just that quarterback, that number 15 in red. Like Lamar Jackson.
I'm going with Mahomes and the Chiefs.
If you're giving Mahomes points, I can't take it. I can't turn it down. And I love Lamar Jackson as a player. I had him on my fantasy teams last year.
I can
He was a
imagine how
legend.
that went.
And my team with Mahomes wasn't as good, but he got hurt. That's why. That's the only reason. But I don't know, man. I like the Chiefs. I do like the Chiefs. I like that pick, Daniel. But it's Willie's pick, and if we're wrong, then it really benefits Willie for talking shit to you.
Honestly, I love my last game. The last matchup I have is the Packers versus the Saints.
Ooh.
Now, this is a 3-point spread.
No Devontae Adams, no Michael Thomas.
For the Saints, 3-point spread?
It's a 3-point spread both ways.
-3 at home.
-3 at home for the Saints. I'm going with the Packers.
That's basically a pick'em game then. Yeah.
The Packers are the underdogs. They're plus 135, and with the way Aaron Rodgers is playing, I'm not going to go against him.
Good value in the Packers. Who look like
I don't know. I just thought about that, sir.
the Packers have been fantastic.
Who is he going to throw the football to?
Aaron Jones
Lazard.
is the best rusher right now in the
Lazard's
NFL.
going to go for
Marshawn Lattimore and Janoris Jenkins are going to look at MSV or MVS, however you want to pronounce it, and Lazard like this is lunch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going with the Packers.
Aaron Jones got to run for 200. That's the only way it gets done.
But he can.
Oh, great.
He can 100%.
We're not doubting that, but he has to run for 200. That's the only way to get this
the
win.
Packers.
So we got the Packers. So we got all 5 picks in. So make sure that we're going to make sure that we keep a hold on to that just to see if Amano is once again Nostradaniel, the greatest picker of all time. So we always back Nostradaniel.
Nah, sir.
So
I don't like it.
One of the reasons we bring on Willie is obviously to answer fantasy questions, which if you feel free, like we'll kind of do this in between to make it interesting, like between NBA points. Just throw out if there's any fantasy questions that you have. But Lakers Nuggets. So, Willie, can the Nuggets do it again?
They may be able to get this game tonight and just off the muscle and desperation that they usually can muster up. I mean, they showed the statistic of Jokic stats. He increases by almost 5 points in game 5s, especially when they're down 3-1, because that's been the case this playoffs. But he shoots 50% from the 3, 60% from the field, and we know what Jamal Murray's going to do. So I think they get one more, but I don't think it goes to 7.
A lot of the line is moving towards Denver.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
actually
The line
gotten
is
a lot
actually
lower.
increased. No, it's increased. I had got it at 5 points. Now it's at 5.5.
5.5. Yeah, I've seen it at 6. I think
5.5.
I mean, it opened at like 6, 6.5. So
Yep.
like the
Nuggets
movement
are plus
generally is
170.
down. Now, how much of that is being pushed because of the narrative going on with the Denver Nuggets? That 3-1, they got this.
The over-under increased too.
I could tell you right now, this spread should be in it if all things are normal, which in the bubble everything is normal. The Lakers should beat this Nuggets team, but we can't count them out.
No.
Exactly.
This is the
Just
position
because they've done
thrived at every single series.
They still the Lakers have no answer for Jamal Murray unless they put LeBron straight up on him, and they're not going to do that.
You can't do
for
that for 48 minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think after that game too, people got to shut the fuck up about LeBron.
LeBron's a stud, but he's going to save his energy for the final bit to guard Jamal Murray. He ain't taking him all day running through all those screens. Like,
Not only that, I expect Jamal Murray to be in his bag when LeBron shows up again. He's gonna have something for him. He's not gonna sit here. He's great, but you're only 6'2", maybe. You can't drive on LeBron. We see 6'9" people still getting chased down. What makes you think you could drive on LeBron, bro? Do what you do best.
And he can
tween jump shot.
But it's going to be through this pick and roll with Jokic.
Exactly.
That's the thing. You're running LeBron James and Anthony Davis on a pick and roll. That's the difference between this series. Like you were thinking Kawhi Leonard's, yeah, he was going to be Kawhi Leonard never stepped up on Murray. Like that's a fact.
When he did, he couldn't stop him.
And it's not like he had any luck whatsoever.
And
like they tried to let Pat Bev, and Beverly was food.
Jesus Christ.
But that's
it was
why
terrible.
LeBron James is the motherfucking GOAT.
Who looked
He's
more
the
homeless?
GOAT right now.
Was it Solomon Hill or him?
Oh, Solomon Hill just looks, I don't know what's going on with his life.
Hold on. Someone yesterday said
When Frederick Douglass checked into the game,
Boston didn't even know how to game plan for
Frederick
it.
Douglass.
Me and Pete were even saying it last night watching the game that
Frederick
someone on Boston went back to Brad Stevens and they were just like, "Yo, coach,
who is that?
I didn't, huh?"
They was just like, who is that man?
They're like,
I didn't game plan for this.
I thought homeless people couldn't get into the bubble. What happened here? This guy's just running around. What's going on?
He came late to the
I
bubble too.
hope
That's
he
the
has
funny
like
part.
They
a
said-
personal bet where he's like, I'm not shaving until we go home or something like that. But
That's probably what it is, which is fine.
That boy looks like he just got
Now,
out of Jumanji.
It's just crazy to see him
He
getting
looks like they just
actual
got him
minutes.
out of there.
It's one thing if he's just sitting on the bench, doing what he's doing, but he's
To me,
actually getting minutes.
that's the craziest part I think I've noticed about the entire playoffs. I've seen players not play almost 3-4 games, and then they just get pulled off the bench immediately, like as one of the first subs. And it's like
Spoelstra does that a lot.
he called Kelly Owen, and I'm like, he didn't even play the last 2 games.
Yeah.
But, okay, I
But
guess
here he
he's
is.
got it, And he did it with Solomon Hill as well, and I'm like,
He's doing it's one. It may
Solomon
be Derek,
Hill didn't even
may
play
be
at
Derek,
all in the bubble until the game before the one we
Exactly.
just saw.
It may be Derek Jones Jr. next game. Like
Kendrick Nunn
Kendrick
may
Nunn
pull up.
hasn't been in a game. I don't even think I seen him in
Kendrick
this
Nunn may
series,
pull up.
except for the
He's
first
here.
game.
He's there.
He's there.
I
I
think
know
he was
he's
in the first
available.
game, and that was it.
Yeah.
And we got Coach Haslam,
Coach,
Yeah.
we know Coach Haslam's not going in the game unless
All
if
we
he
know-
got to go in, all
We
hell done
lost.
broke loose.
Yeah, he better go in there to break Theis'
Exactly.
leg.
Hey, honestly,
And I think
gotta do what you got to do.
Myers Leonard has earned that as well.
Oh my God, is he still?
Yeah,
He's
he is.
just shotgunning beers. That's all he was doing the whole time.
That's
that
probably
and
why.
streaming. He's a really good COD player. He is a really good COD player.
Yeah, but
Myers Leonard.
we need him to be a really good court player.
No, he's a great
And a
cheerleader.
team player.
Have you seen him?
I've seen him
Cheers
cheerlead.
per minute. He's leading.
But he's actually a
all the
talented
NBA.
baller. Like, get him on the court.
No, he is talented. It's just there's been something weird about this bubble where
Exactly. I don't
there's
know.
a reason he's not playing. He ain't in shape. Like he looks like he's the most in shape person, but somehow for what the Heat do, he's not in the right shape.
Exactly.
That's probably why Solomon Hill didn't play, even though I don't understand why he's playing, to be honest with you. He had good minutes last night, though.
They were just like, look, just play defense. You ain't even got to shoot. Just play defense.
We know they didn't game plan for him.
Exactly.
Like, run up to somebody
didn't-
and just start shouting at them.
That'll work.
Right? And he
That'll
runs-
work. They'll be like, it's a crazy man on the court.
So, I mean, we can't write off Boston yet. I mean, they're
Bro,
really good.
Sadly
I
not.
said it from the get. Heat are winning in 6. I already put my bet in. Heat money line. Game 6. It's over. It's over.
I'd be the happiest person ever,
I'd be very happy. Yes.
especially just, Heat win Sunday night.
Bro, Jimmy's
Ravens
not going to
Monday.
let them win again.
But
Jimmy is not going to let them win again.
if it, I don't know. I got the Celtics in 7 at this point.
Bro, you are not.
Though
Heat
I
Nation.
told you my 2 predictions. I have to
Let's
stick
go.
true to them. It was either the Heat in 5, and obviously that didn't come true, or the Celtics in 7. So, shit, I got to be right one way.
I think I said on the show
Or you
Heat
could
and
be
6.
wrong
I think
both
we're
ways.
both recorded saying Heat and
Yes.
6. So Heat and 6. Well,
I'm on multiple
Yeah,
shows saying
yeah,
Heat and 6.
yeah, we gotta say.
I'm a
we
Heat
gotta
fan,
stick
but I'm a
with it.
realist,
Oh, but that's the good
Bro,
thing.
but
You
we're
don't
still
have to
up.
be.
We're still winning.
You don't have to be. And I know this is a betting show, and we'll
wanna
get into
know
the
what?
smart bets a little bit later.
You're a realist, right? You beat Chloe in a bet saying that the Miami Marlins were going to make the playoffs. And what happened?
Exactly.
What happened yesterday?
We clinched against the Yankees.
Okay, so be a realist once again and understand when Miami's going to step up and win that shit again.
Look, we built like that. I know we built differently,
All right. So
but
stop
they got-
doubting your own team.
They got some
How
cheating
you gonna
stuff.
come on here and doubt your own
They
team?
got some stuff going on in Boston. I don't know. They got some cheating stuff going on over there.
I will say, even Jeff Van Gundy was going off about how they
Bro,
were slowing down the game and shit.
I
and,
thought they were
stopping
gonna
the game.
fine him or like maybe cut his mic off because I'm
Bro.
like, yo, he's just talking about the refs right now.
So
this is what they fine coaches and players for.
Oh
exactly.
no, that's gold. I think the NBA was like, keep going.
They're like,
Obviously,
to be
you
honest
saw
with
the part where they were like, "Oh, we're gonna check the call for a hostile act," and then he was like, "A hostile act." He's like, the Cuban Missile Crisis. That's a hostile act. This is what this guy says.
This is the man who literally is most famous for being around the ankles of Alonzo Mourning in a scrum with his, like, I don't know if he had a toupee or what it was.
It was something.
But his hair was off to the side.
was
If you have
flapping.
not seen this video,
It was
that is a
comb
hostile
over.
act.
It was a comb over.
He was out there he rides for his players.
Yeah, he
He
does.
ride for his players. That's all I know.
He loves basketball.
I do agree about that. A
He's-
hostile act is more of
He's
Mouse
out.
at the Palace.
They said
That's more-
hostile act, and then they both flopped. Goran Dragic and Kemba Walker both flopped on that.
Do you
play.
think he's a better coach than his brother?
Yeah, I do. Bro, there's a reason Stan Van Gundy had a team that was capable of reaching the finals.
And Pat Riley was like,
And Pat
I can
Riley
do
was like,
this.
bro, like, you know
I
what?
can do
I got to
this
come
better."
out of retirement and clean up your bitch ass mess. Get the fuck out of here. I'm taking over it. And they won a ring.
I don't know how to honestly grade that stuff. I mean, if you're just going by win-loss record, it's probably Van Gundy or
They're
Jeff
both
Van
Van
Gundy.
Gundys.
Jeff Van Gundy, excuse me, but Stan is it? I mean, he's entertaining. I really like
They're
him.
both entertaining. There's a reason, though, why only one of them is on commentary.
Yeah, but one of them kind of looks like they can also play basketball. Have you seen Stan Van Gundy handle the rock?
I've seen that.
Oh yeah, I've seen that legendary video where he's going between the legs in practice.
This-
Woo!
You gotta practice what you preach, bro.
Exactly.
And if Jeff Van Gundy could do that, I'd be more surprised.
Exactly.
Could he do it at one point in his life? I still don't think so.
Look, the reason Stan Van Gundy could do that is because he'd probably be a better drills coach than he is a head coach.
Don't do my guy Stan like that. Hey, he got
When have you had a
the
designated
magic to the
drills
finals.
coach?
Huh?
When have you ever had a designated drills coach?
The
I
ball
played
boy.
college baseball.
The
We
ball
never had
boy.
a designated drills coach.
The ball boy, he passes the ball to you. He can handle the rock just
That's
fine.
just someone who works with the team. That's not a designated person.
Yeah,
Des-
no, they're doing
but
that
Stan
for-
Van Gundy
listen,
will be dedicated
listen, if
like
they're
on
do-
the road and at home.
If they're doing it for community service, dude, then it doesn't count.
He could like help them stretch, you know?
If they're doing it for hours and you said you'd get them 4 when they actually work 2,
Bro, Jeff Van
That's
Gundy
why they're there.
is way better than Stan Van Gundy. It's not even close.
I don't disagree, but hey, don't try to guy like that, man. He got the magic to the finals.
He did. He did.
he got the Magic to the finals. There you go.
Hey,
But then Kobe shut them down.
Van Gundy got the Knicks to the finals. That's the final one. Yeah, he's right. He's 100% right. That's been
damn,
2 decades of irrelevance.
damn,
Oh, man.
damn.
So, I guess we're going to have a pick, right?
Yeah. And then you could go on
Okay.
about your Marlins.
So, I think we have to do it for tonight's game. I think we got to do it for the FSU-UM game.
Ooh wee, right up my alley.
As our resident FSU expert, how bad are they?
Oh, I mean, it's tragic. I ain't even gonna lie. We got running backs with number 0 and stuff right now. I think that's the new fad going around college football. It's not cool. We lost to Georgia Tech, and it was terrible. Georgia Tech's not even running the option anymore. They look like a regular college
Does football
team.
need more triple option?
Honestly, I wasn't against it in the first place because it's pretty hard to damn game plan against, and it just fucks up people's minds.
If you got people who can really who can
Exactly.
really have ball control, like that dude Malcolm Perry that was at Navy last year, who's on the Dolphins now.
Exactly.
He's a great athlete. Yeah, so that it does make it hard to game plan. It's an interesting game. I don't think I've given a college football pick, but there's one thing that I know about FSU is it's gonna be a dogfight. Like, you gotta understand,
sure.
all these kids are getting recruited from the same area. All the people we talk about, Miami dudes, South Florida dudes. This is Jerry Jeudy would be one of the top tier players. It's the tier below them that goes to FSU and UM right now, because that's where Alabama, LSU, Clemson are at. Like, that's it. They're taking all the best of wherever you live. It don't matter.
It's a very true statement.
But these boys have played against each other. Either they go to Miami or FSU. They're very commonly recruiting in the same area. rivalry game, guys. An 11-point spread is.
Is it safe to say this is like a top 3 college football rivalry?
I put this up there with the Michigan and Ohio
State's
State.
one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
Michigan
definitely
Ohio
like
State is
given.
one.
I think everybody could agree on that one.
Florida State is. It's different. It's a different kind of rivalry, though.
But UM and FSU just hit different. It's always felt personal with FSU UM. I don't know if that's just because I'm from South Florida, but it's always felt personal with that.
It's either LSU, Bama, Texas, Oklahoma, or you can
Alabama,
even go
Auburn's
USC.
number 2. Alabama, Auburn's number 2. Those two can't be touched. Those two can't be touched. Michigan, Ohio State,
the 2010s have been
and
crazy.
the Iron Bowl. Those are 1 and 2 right now. And I mean Texas, Oklahoma. That's a big one. I mean you're talking about two teams that really know each other as far as players. So an 11-point spread is a lot. Now
11.5 points now.
It's gone up to an 11.5
11.5 points. Florida State is plus 325. The over under is 53.5. I'm almost feeling the over because they always go off on each other, or if not, they shut each other down. That's the one thing that scares me.
Well, the one thing that looked good was the Canes offense. The Canes offense really looked good in their last game against Louisville. Now, I saw Louisville's defense. They're Swiss cheese. But it can't be taken, De'Aaron King looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Brevin Jordan, I think, is a first-round draft pick. Other than that, or that guy Pitts for the Gators,
I think they have 4
touchdowns today.
They got 2 NFL tight ends at Miami because the Mallory kid isn't bad as well, and he's 6'6" or 6'7".
But I'm saying Brevin Jordan should go in the first round. Like, he's that kind of talent. Like, we're seeing 2 really, really good tight ends, and I'd be fine with either one of them, Pitts. And I just don't feel like the FSU has that weapon.
We do. We just have trouble getting him the ball. His name is Tamarian Terry, and he's 6'4", 205, runs a 4.3. He's the scariest person we got. It's just our quarterback, James Blackman, has mental lapses when he's in the pocket. Our O-line is terrible, and our defense is a lot of talk and no action, really, to be quite honest. The more I look at it, especially looking at last year's game, and Miami didn't really have the quarterback of De'Aaron King status, I might take the 11 points.
I was going to say, I think FSU covers, but I think UM wins.
I might take those 11 points, sir. They beat us 27-10 last year in Tallahassee.
And this is down here, right?
Exactly. And it's going to be Are they allowing fans in?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I got family that's out there now.
Well, then, yeah, I got Miami. Sadly.
Give me the points. I'm taking UM. UM minus 11
and
a half.
I still think FSU covers. I think UM wins.
Yeah, the UM looks better than they have in a while. FSU is just not there yet. They don't even have their coach tonight.
I mean,
could that help them? Could that actually help them?
Yes, it can, because we hate our coach. Our coach almost got fired twice before the season even started.
FSU?
Yes.
No,
he's been lying about COVID tests. He's been lying about giving speeches to the team.
It sounds like Tallahassee behavior.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't really do things correctly up there.
No, nothing is done correctly in Tallahassee. I've never even been to Tallahassee. I just know to stay the fuck away from it.
Nothing goes as planned. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know people who lose their souls out in Tallahassee.
Hey, that happened to a quarterback at FSU.
That's for
Google
certain.
the name, Wyatt Sexton.
Oh, the Tallahassee got him.
It was something. He went hunting. He got bit by some bug. Changed his life. Exactly. I won't do that.
You want to go off and tell them about the Marlins?
17 years. So, let me give you guys some context. I was born in December of 92. The Miami Marlins now, or back then, the Florida Marlins, started in 1993. So I'm the first generation of actual Marlins fans who actually grew up with the team, like since they were babies. Baseball was my favorite sports growing up, so I gravitated to the Marlins. You get 2 World Series victories within your first 12 years of living. You get the great Josh Beckett performance. And then for 17 years, you get nothing but mid.
Dog shit.
Just mid. Nothing at all. Nothing good. And to get to this point with the circumstances the way they are, like, a lot's going to be said about 162 games. Like, could they make the playoffs in a 162 game season? And I will go by my prediction of probably not. Talent eventually over 162 games shows up, and the Marlins have some problems in certain areas. But I can tell you what they do have. They have a number 1, they have a number 2, and they have a number 3 that can go with a lot of these rotations that are going now.
Sixto's been going off.
He's had a couple of tough starts, but you can see the talent. It's undeniable at this point. And you're going against people who have not seen him. Like, all these people have film on them and have been studying the Marlins,
but have never experienced it.
Yeah, now they're playing the Cubs, who don't even know who's going to be in their lineup from the last time they saw him in last July or whatever it was. But specifically, I wear the Jose jersey, and rest in peace to everyone involved in the situation that happened 4 years ago. Like, that can't be forgotten. You need to, make sure that you understand the situation. But this was one of my favorite players, and just knowing so many Cuban American kids in Florida that I played with, how much they love this dude, just as a person, and knowing the person defected from Cuba 3 times and failed. His 4th time, he actually saved the life of his own mother. Like, these are crazy stories. He came out and traveled with his high school baseball team in jeans. He tried out and was throwing gas. Like, imagine that. Kid comes out, doesn't know a lick of English, in jeans, and just starts throwing 96, 97.
Just like, pass me the baseball. Baseball.
That's it.
Baseball.
That's it. And he just
throw.
Just an unbelievable talent, and to do it on the day that he passed, where very few things I think I remember, just because I really, it's hard to forget a moment like that.
Oh, I remember exactly where I was.
I woke up and I read the news. I was in my bed and I'm like,
it wasn't a Sunday morning?
Yeah.
I woke up and I was just like, that's not right.
No. I had to fact check it multiple times.
Weren't they scheduled to play that day, the Marlins?
Yes. He was scheduled to start the next following day. He was scheduled to start the next following day. So naturally, you're like 2 nights before. I mean, it's just to think of the talent as well, just like the kind of player. And if he was in this situation, because I'm telling you right now, he would have been in this situation, but for the Yankees, not for the Marlins. Like, we were gonna get all those years through, and it's just unfortunate. But to do it on that day specifically, with some of the guys, Mattingly especially, that used to know him and knew who he was about. I mean, just get the reaction from his former teammates if you want to know anything about the dude. So I'm glad I get to see postseason baseball for the first time in 17 years.
Oh my goodness, the Marlins in the playoffs.
To
just get to say that.
They haven't been since 2003, and they beat the Yankees.
And it can be decided now on a ghost runner on second. We're going back to old school baseball. I kind of like it. I kind of like the 7-inning doubleheaders. I hope they keep those. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining us.
We got to answer the fantasy question.
That's right. We got some fantasy questions that have popped up.
Can't miss that.
I got to ask you some things for sure. So I do got the fantasy questions for you. So first one I'll give you is just on my particular team, because I am I'm struggling here. I got an 8-teamer, so I got to start one. Cooper Kupp, Todd Gurley, or Mike Davis. You got Kupp at Buffalo, Gurley at Chicago, Mike Davis against the Chargers.
Chargers been stopping the run game, so you could take Mike Davis off that list, and it's really only between Cooper Kupp and who was the other receiver?
Oh, it's Cooper Kupp and Todd Gurley.
Oh, Gurley versus Chicago. If they're willing to commit to the run, he would be worth it, but I got to go Cooper Kupp. You got the extension, and he's basically Jared Goff's favorite receiver. There's no other way around it.
Okay. And this is our resident fantasy expert, Trill. Chloe, maybe we would have asked him fantasy questions if he came on the show.
Yeah, I mean, we got one more because this one was just insane. Just reading it out, so we got to pick.
Yeah, that was
from Philadelphia. Paulie G
Paulie G
says, in a points per reception league, and it says 0.75 tight end premium. So I guess they get an extra 0.75.
So it's
points.
a 0.75 catch per tight end. I mean, doesn't that make
Maybe
Travis
it's a
Kelce
bonus.
a first round pick?
Oh, for sure. Every tight end just got bumped up around
Can
automatically.
you imagine Darren Waller last week in that league?
Oh man, if we could have kept him in Baltimore.
That's a 40 burger he just put on you with just catches.
So yeah, in this we got to pick 2. And to be quite honest, who is Monty? Do you know who Monty is?
Nope.
Okay,
David Montgomery. David
Okay.
Montgomery against Atlanta.
Okay, there we go. Makes sense.
I saw Devin Singletary on that list.
That's Zach Moss is out, so that's not a bad pick at all, especially with the Rams. But I mean, he could die. Aaron
Will
Donald could just
Fuller
eat him.
versus Pittsburgh.
I like that. I like that just for the simple fact that
Hurst
I
versus
know
Chicago.
he's Deshaun's favorite receiver, and he's gonna throw it.
He had 0 catches last week.
0 catches last week. 8 in week 1 with 100+ yards. So I expect him to get back on script this week.
For sure. Okay. All right.
Hayden Hurst.
Will Fuller is a boomer bust. And Hayden Hurst, now remember, 0.75.
Exactly. I'm looking at the 2 tight ends at the bottom, and neither are a bad choice, honestly. Hayden Hurst versus Chicago, he's had great games, and he's breaking out, especially if Julio's not 100% or especially if he can't play. You got to go with him. And Dalton Schultz, he did like 9 for 100 last week. He was the leading receiver in Dallas. A lot of people didn't know that. So, yeah, you can roll with that, but that's not consistent. I wouldn't. They got way too many receivers out there. You know the game plan. Zeke can throw. You're not really a primary person.
If you have the trouble of trying to start Tyler Higbee and Dallas Goddard a week in and week out, how do you choose? And just so you know, I chose wrong both weeks.
Damn.
So I had Higbee the first week.
Oh,
when Goddard went off.
And then you had Goddard last week.
So I'm just starting both of them at this point. But should I be starting him over Emmanuel Sanders and Antonio Gibson?
For sure, Antonio Gibson, just because I think the Browns game is with Washington football team, and I think that Washington's going to have to throw just because I expect the Browns to move the ball, but yeah.
I mean, in these high-scoring games, like, you got to keep an eye on some of the, people that you want to watch. I mean, the guy I have this week, I can't wait to watch him play against that Jets defense, is Jonathan Taylor. Do you have him as a top 5 running back the rest of the year?
Yes, hell yeah. Jonathan Taylor, especially losing Marlon Mack. Naheem Hines, he didn't get any touches last week, and they were pretty successful, to be quite honest. So I got to go with him as a top 5 back. I mean, in no particular order. Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Jonathan Taylor. You can even go with
McCaffrey's top 5, even if he's not playing. I get what you're saying, but that's
just available based on availability.
Availability. If you're going,
can't miss Aaron Jones, of course.
Edwards-Helaire over Taylor?
No.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor is a workhorse.
To be.
That man is huge.
I just think that Edwards-Helaire is a boomer bust because it always is going to depend on basically what he does in the first quarter and also how the game goes.
I mean, he had 6 catches and not a not-so-good fantasy week. They didn't run the ball as much.
He only had 10 carries for 38 yards.
But the Chargers were controlling the ball most of the game. Like, that's the flow of fantasy. Like,
Close says Josh Jacobs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't forget him.
Josh Jacobs, yeah, no.
He's screaming it at you.
But their offensive line, they're also missing a couple starters, and basically you're going
Aaron Jones, too. I'm taking Aaron Jones over him as well.
He literally just put Aaron Jones.
I mentioned Aaron Jones.
I know. I was about to say you did mention it, but he did also just put it, like, literally this moment.
But Josh Jacobs, they got missing 2 offensive linemen this week. Like we mentioned before, Henry Ruggs not going to be there. Belichick's going to take away Darren Waller. So it's either Josh Jacobs got to go for 150+ or David Carr's got to throw for 300 to Hunter Renfrow and Bryan Edwards, which I wouldn't be mad about because they're on my fantasy team. But, yeah.
You're starting both of them in a
league. Oh, no. I'm not starting them. They're on my team.
I will say one of them is bench throwing.
I will say this on a closing note, right? let's just remember that I beat Willie in fantasy last week. You're calling him a fantasy expert, and I will beat him this week now in this little fantasy picking game that you have.
See, look at that very accurate list given by my co-host right there. That's basically what I said. Come on,
but you're still gonna lose.
Hey, whoa. Let's get the facts straight. I was down by 70.
You still lost though.
I was down by 70
Don't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile.
Whoa, sir.
I'm putting Zeke over AK.
Not it.
barely.
Not this year.
Just barely.
Not this year.
Just barely.
Nope.
Zeke to me has lost that step or that pop.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He's still leaning
it's-
forward.
it's
It's still
more-
4
it's not
yards
even
of
that
carry.
For me, it's the touches.
It's not even
extent
the
of
step
the
or the
touches.
pop.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of receptions for Kamara, but you're
It
running
feels-
more routes. You're getting like he's getting 8 to 9 rushes a game.
It feels like he just lost. his
Latavius
spark
Murray
to
probably
play the
gets
game.
about 5-6 carries in that offense. He gets a lot of his, his pass catching is what makes him.
Mhm.
Zeke can pass catch. Zeke can run the ball 20, 25 times. That's just how I look at it. But that's 1A and 1B. Like we're talking,
sure.
like if you have both, you're great. You're feeling really, really
And
good.
then if you have that guy in Carolina, then yeah, you solid as well.
He has Taylor? So he has. Does he have Jones over?
I don't know if he.
I
even
got
put it
Jones
in
over
order.
Taylor for sure.
I don't know if he put it in order, but he has those 5. He also said Alvin Kamara is having a comeback year from the lack of touchdowns last year because he was injured and only had 3 to 4 touchdowns.
I mean, he's
True
definitely
statements.
scoring. He's definitely scoring. That definitely helps your
Hey,
fantasy
you know.
value. But consistently, is he going to be scoring every week? Probably.
I'll tell you what.
If
will be
not,
Can
sco-
Zeke
he's
still
gonna get the
score every week
touches.
though? Probably.
I will
and
tell
he's
you
going to
what.
get more touches.
I will tell you what will officially become consistent after this week is my win streak.
I highly doubt that, sir. Who do you play this week?
I'm not talking fantasy. I'm talking about in this little
He's
picking.
just going back to talk
But
shit.
in
That's all.
fantasy
He,
too.
that's all. He's really
That's
just bringing
definitely
you
not
here to
gonna
talk shit to
continue.
you.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
I'm
Yes.
sorry for that. Thank you again for joining us, Willie. You brought a lot of smartness to the show that's not usually
it's
here.
intelligence. I don't even know
Smartness.
if smartness is the word.
Well, that's
Intelligence.
does that not prove my
Wisdom.
point though?
You said it like a preschooler.
I mean,
Oh man.
oh wow.
You kind of
Jesus.
upset over there.
Why are you so upset at the host?
I'm hype.
I hope you lose.
Because I'm going to win.
That's why losers
I
talk.
believe.
I hope you lose. now.
Goldberg believes. He believes.
He's disappointed in you.
So, guys, make sure to give us a follow on Gamble on Ginter on Instagram and Twitter. Keep an eye out for all of our premium picks that are coming out.
DM us. Get those picks
We
for
got
tomorrow.
NFL Sunday tomorrow, guys.
You got the Lakers
Premium
Nuggets
pick
tonight.
plan.
Heat Celtics tomorrow.
I got you a fun little game. You want parlays? I could put stuff together for you. You know, I pretty much guarantee accuracy. So please DM us for information. And once again, thanks to our guest and Amano as always for taking care of us.